Hello, always.
Hi, Rich. Hi, everyone.
Just give it a few minutes to give people a chance to get in. Looks like we might have a lonely one today. Doesn't seem to be many people joining. Give it a few more minutes. Cool. I think we'll just save the recording time. We can just make a start. So this is the sort of final Saturday meeting, then before the big the final presentation, which will be next Saturday. We're not going to have a midweek meeting next week, just to give people a little bit of time to, put together some slides, put together the notebooks in order and whatnot, so they can present them. If you weren't here last time, we're basically going to do a recorded presentation on what we've done so far, and well, what we've done to build a solution, and talk about it, what we've learned, what's been difficult, and just allow people to have like give each other feedback and whatnot. And then what we can do with that video, we can put it on YouTube and give it to Omdena, and they can basically distribute that, and that marks the end of the project. Always, you've been working on obviously always left, hasn't he? He might have he was saying he might have a couple of difficulties getting on. But always has been building a Streamlit app, and a couple of people have helped contribute to it. I believe Kevin's been working on it as well. But when he jumps back into the meeting, we can go through that with him, because I believe he's done some really fantastic work. But yeah, for those who are just joining now, I was just reiterating what the plan is. The final sort of presentation of our group is next Saturday. So what the plan is, we're going to all the leads, or whoever's done a significant amount of work, will have the opportunity, if they want to present what they've done throughout the challenge. And if you've it does, you don't have to have contributed directly to the sort of challenge pipeline, but if you've done your own work, it's an opportunity for you to present it. and also let everyone know what you've learned, what you've found difficult, and get, and give feedback around the whole challenge, and that will be basically put into the final sort of YouTube video, and Omdena will take that and share it onto their platform. And of course, it's to go through the final sort of solution that we've built, which always have been working on, the Streamlit app with the help of others as well. And that will be the end of the project. So there's not going to be a midweek meeting next week. What I want everyone to do, if you've worked on the project at all, if you've made any sort of contribution, if you could, put one or two, well, probably 2 or 3 slides together, just and talk about what you've done. You'll have opportunity to do that. I'll put a rough sort of timed, because we don't want it to be like hours and hours long, probably max an hour and a half. And if I get everyone who wants to present, I can work out a sort of itinerary and agenda for the meeting, starting from the data engineers and the pre-processing all the way up to the sort of dashboard creation. And it'd be great to get, a number of different angles on what was found, to really give the final presentation an in-depth look of all the trials and tribulations we've been through with the data. So that's the plan. I'll put out a Google Sheet with, so you can leave your name if you want to present anything, and if you leave a little description of what you want to present, I can organize that into a natural flow, and we should have a good presentation, because everyone's worked really hard, everyone's collaborated very well. The project, in terms of deploying a model live for public use, didn't go the way we wanted it to go, and that's absolutely fine. As I've explained, the main outcome of this project is to increase your knowledge of the data pipeline, and what it looks like to build a project from end to end, even if it doesn't go as planned. That's the beauty of data science. You can plan all you want, but if your data doesn't give its secrets, you have to adapt, and that's what we have done. And we've got so many insights that we could share with other people. It's been absolutely fantastic. I've really enjoyed watching everyone learn and develop over the past couple of weeks. So let me there's 2 chats there, sorry, I've missed them. Cool. I'll tell you what then, always, do you want to, let me just allow sharing of the screen. If you wouldn't mind just sharing what you've done since we've last met. I believe Kevin was giving you a hand in terms of, Lavanya. Let's give it to Always for the time being, because his internet and his power is intermittent at the moment. So let's try and get him done first, and then you can present your notebook. Not a problem. But go ahead, Always. You're on mute.
So, can you guys see my screen?
Yep, looks absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, so first of all, the theme and the logo and the images and the text, etc. It's all been done by Kevin. So thank you, Kevin, for your contribution and helping me out. Other than that, I have like I talked about it in the few previous meeting. I've created this main menu, and from here you can select which year. So it's currently on year. Let's go to 2009. Yeah. So now it shows the map updates with according to these attributes. We can also change the severity status of the accident.
Have you combined the fatal and I think you said this last time, you've combined the fatal and serious into one point, haven't you? Perfect.
Yeah, it's actually I'm using the data set in which the both are combined, but I can
Okay.
always change the data set, yeah, at any moment. And these one, two, these will also be replaced by like slide, serious, and fatal. So
Yeah, yeah. I think
that should not be.
for the final presentation, always I'd rather you present this dashboard at the end, and because this is basically all our insights, all the sort of analysis that we've done are going to be contained within your dashboard. So don't worry about making any slides or nothing. You just focus on this to get it to where you're happy with, and so
Yeah.
we can do that, and you can present the solution that we've come up with. Everyone else will handle the steps towards towards this solution. But yeah, it's fantastic so far. Go on, go ahead.
Yeah, so uh, I've not done anything in the visualizations or in the about what are these called in these menus, but I have been working on it. It's running another Python script, so the theme and logos are not updated here. So in this, I was just trying. I was watching a YouTube video and for the visualizations, and I just wanted to try it out in my Python script. So this is, suppose if we select here, uh, number of casualties, fine. I don't know why it's taking so long. Let me rerun it.
It's a huge data set as well, so I imagine the latency is not going to be super fast, but that's cool.
Oh no, it's the other one. Um, Sorry about this.
That's okay.
This. Mm, so- Uh, it's taking too long. Yeah, it is. So this is something that I just wanted to try out. I don't know if I think it is statistically it is correct, but these graphs does not give like proper information. The color is black. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So these does show the count and everything, but there is, I think, like it's not giving us the total count of number of casualties in that year.
Mhm.
It's just printing out every column and every accident.
Yeah, it's like it's scattered it, hasn't it? It's tried to plot a scatter graph with it, but because
Yeah,
they only
yeah,
fall in
it's
particular
static.
years, yeah.
So yeah, I will work on it, and if first I will try to like make it an interactive map like it is right now. But if I was unable to move on with this approach, then I will switch to just static graphs, line graphs, and etc. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's cool. That's cool. No, it's really, really good work. It looks fantastic. And in terms of the about page, we can put like the sort of background, the background to the project and whatnot, the problem statement, and I think an extra page of just maybe some insights, and we can, under the visualizations or something, we'll put insights. And I know people have recorded various different insights in their EDA notebooks. So what we can do is collate all that into an extra page, and they're the sort of observations, as a record of the observations we've made, which will be used, for anyone coming onto it. And we can also probably describe how we would intend to, what I think I'll write something like that, and I think I'll give Michael a hand with that, because you'll be busy with this always, and we can talk about the various different techniques of modeling we try to do, and the problem with the data that we have, that it's not necessarily made for machine learning, and it's very difficult to draw any patterns from it which define between a serious and fatal accident, because we tried to use a binary classification model, and it didn't really work very well either. So that says to me that the data doesn't really have very good sort of it can't tell the story as well between fatal and serious. And that just opens, that not necessarily is a failure of what we've done. That's just because what the data shows and how it's being recorded. We would have to take steps into try and define using, we would have to, the data engineers who collate this data, we would have to talk to them and see if there's any way we can define, with a very high confidence level, the difference between a serious and fatal accident. At the moment, we can't do that because we're just downloading the data as is from the Department of Transport. But if we were in industry, we could really drill down on the data and try and find patterns in it that define between fatal and serious. We can't do that, and that's just the nature of what's happened, and that's absolutely fine. Similar data sets I've looked at, which exist on Kaggle. I've looked at the solution notebooks that people have put forward, and they seem to be having the same problem. Their models hit around 85% accuracy, but that is because they're predicting mostly on the slight. And when they sort of try and balance the outcomes, the classes, it's the same problem. So yeah, it's not just us who've ran into this problem before. It's people who've used similar data sets as well. I don't think they've used as much data as we have, so we've probably had the best crack at it. But they run into similar problems as well. But yeah, that is phenomenal work. So yeah, always, if you could focus on getting that ready for next Saturday, we can present that as the solution. And I believe Michael will be the one responsible for talking about what we've done for modeling and what was, why we couldn't, create a good model, and what would be sort of further work into this area if we were working with a client such as the Department of Transport. So yeah, brilliant work. Lavanya, do you want to share your screen and share your notebook? The floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you. Can you see? Can you
Yep, we
see?
can see it.
Yeah. This is on accident data I've done. Accident data and both the vehicle data, I've merged it. And on that, the missing values I've imputed in the normal process. You can see the percentages are more. So I've done in the normal mean and mode, the categorical and continuous variables I've done on the mean and mode. And after that, I've done a merging. Both the data I've merged. So around some 11 lakh features I've got it, 11 lakh observations I've got it. In that, I've chosen only the accident data. I've just gone through the Michael notebook. So I found this was a very good process. So I thought I'll just use that only. So I've done on that only, the accident data. This is the categorical and continuous variable of, and I've done the heat map also on continuous data. And this is the accident severity, where we can see the slight is the severity is very slight. It is not much fatal. And also I've done univariate analysis on numerical features. So all the features I've counted. So this is what the graph shows. And for categorical variable, for correlation, I've just used the chi-square test. And for weather conditions, we can see that more on high wind, there is no high winds. So that time the accidents had more happen. So on that hypothesis basis. And also if we see the vehicle type, the more vehicle type is on a car, the accident involved is the car vehicle. And the road type.
Sorry to interrupt. I think that's quite an interesting observation as well, where the slight accidents are of high winds, fine, no high winds. And, you know, slight accidents, when I was looking up slight accidents and what happens, that can be what is included is also if there is high wind, and you know a branch or some roof tiles from a house
somewhere, or skidding or somewhere like that, maybe.
Yeah, it's in you know, quite unusual that no high winds would have such a massive amount of slight accidents. Only because you would assume when the weather conditions are worse and there's you know debris flying around, you'd think more accidents would be caused like that. So that's quite an interesting observation, really. It's something that I wouldn't have. It's quite counterintuitive, but yeah. Sorry to interrupt. Go on, please.
No. And the road type also I've just seen, and more accidents happen on the carriageway, that is in the highways. And on that also I've checked, like in the highways, what actually hazards, what were the hazards, but in the data set it is mentioned as a none. So we couldn't find it what exactly that causes. So what causes actually the accidents. And in the junction, we can see the more is on, they are very a little bit far from the junction, or it is not on the junctions. So this, it was not proper this thing. And also here, like first card road, like ABC, I'm not aware what exactly it is. So I couldn't come up with this, what exactly. And
so the A roads are sort of road classifications. So like your C and B roads, they are your minor roads. A will be your like dual carriageways. They usually more high speed roads.
So it depends on the lanes, which lane or which highway or
yeah. A lot of A roads have a speed limit between 60 and 70 miles per hour, and A roads usually connect to motorways. It is known in the UK that motorways, even though the speed limit's 70, are usually a lot safer, and we can see that in the data that there's much less accidents
It's
on the
happened in
motorways.
Yeah. Motorway. And also I've checked on the road surface, like condition, what condition was the road, it is this thing. So it is a dry. So most accidents happen in that area, that side only, the road dry, that surface was very dry, the road condition was. So only these I've done on the chi-square test, and the EDA I couldn't do it because already almost all have done it. So I jumped into training, the modeling part. So here I've done categorical variables encoding. I've just checked on just to identify like which are the features like how many the classes they have, each feature. So this was I found out. And on that I've converted the accident severity that into classes like label encoding. I've done the label encoding for that. And for other categorical variables, I've done one-hot encoding. So for that, I've got 111 columns. And done the feature scaling and also selections, feature selection, important feature selections. This is what I've got it, the graph. And these are the features, which is important, feature important. So all the month thing. Then I've done the modeling. I've tried different models on logistic. I've tried decision tree. I've tried random forest. For logistic, this is a confusion matrix for train data and test data. And I've done scoring also, F1 score, this thing, but accuracy is 85% only for logistic, both on test and train data. It is almost same. And because I tried, this is as we can see, it is not actually a binary, it is a multi-class. So I've done a little bit of multi-class, the confusion matrix also. So it will iterate on all the classes and get the confusion matrix for that. For the decision tree also I tried. For the multi-class, this is what I got. And the accuracy, like here we can see that it's a kind of a overfitting. So I tried the random forest and with minimal hyperparameters. So there it was like same as logistic. But others I've tried for randomized search CV, but it was taking too long time. Grid CV, grid search, and ADA boosting, gradient. This all taking like it took me 1 day, but still it was running. So I just left, and with the whatever I have got it, I've done the selecting the best model. So this was the result. But still, it was not satisfied because it is a multi classifications, multi-class this thing. So I'm not getting the proper accuracy and the F1 score.
Cool. Yeah, and it will take a long time because the data is large, but yeah, we're having at the same problems. It's the decision tree overfits and the like the random forest models. They're having difficulty. They're just basically 85% of the classes are slight anyway, so it's having a problem differentiating between them, which is what we've seen. But yeah, that is it's great work. You've done quite a lot there. You've threw everything at it, and that is the best way to do it. Is just try everything. There will be in the future. We've got a massive data set between. Well, I think when you merge them together, I think it's about 500,000 lines. What I'd probably do in the future for some experimentation, I'd probably reduce the data set weight to about 10% of that, and just try and model it on just 10% of the data and see if it improves. It'll certainly improve the computation time. But whether it would improve the accuracy or whatnot, it probably not,
Yeah.
because it's the same data. But that's just like, you know, in the future, if you're met with anything, just take random samples from the data and try and do it on a smaller set and predict on a smaller set. It
Yeah,
probably
I'm just working
save
on
you a lot of
that
time.
also. Yeah, I'm working on
cool.
those random samples, but I'm not sure like how accurate the results will be. I'm just working on it.
Yeah,
That also
yeah.
I'm trying, instead of getting 10 lakhs, so I'm just taking out like 2 lakhs random samples and working on that also.
Yeah. No, that's great work. You've done really well.
Thank you.
But as I say, it's
Thanks to you, like all the team members, like I can able to work on these things. I learned a
no,
lot.
it's good. Good. That's what the point of the project is. I mean, yeah, it would have been great to have a publicly available model to build, but you know, the data is not allowing that, and it's beyond our control because we're not liaising with the Department of Transport in real life. But what it's also taught you that is sometimes it doesn't go your way, and you need to do a lot more than just plug in data and let the model do its work. There's a lot more nuance to it in real life, and I think the project that we've done is shown that as a really good example of how these things can sometimes go. Because you get a lot of machine learning tutorials that just give you a nice clean data set which tell a really clear and easy to understand story. It's not like that in real life, and we've demonstrated that, but we've still done fantastic work where everyone has been able to learn something new, and we're not walking away empty-handed. We're able to make a solution and make real insights into what is causing accidents or what isn't, and interesting points within the data that people may have not picked up on. So overall, we've done very well. But yeah, that is the point of the project, to learn. And I can see, just observing what goes on in the Slack channel, and what people are coming onto these calls twice a week and demonstrating and showing the work that they've done. That people have come very far in this project, and I'm really proud of everyone who's really made a good effort. And that's why I'm excited for like the sort of final presentation next Saturday, because that's where everyone can put forward what they've learned, what they've found, and and walk away with the head held high, saying I've worked on an end-to-end project which didn't go the way we wanted, but it was still very valuable work, and we will have something very valuable to offer people who want to look at this particular project. I can't wait for that. But yeah, so that is the next step. Yeah, you've done fantastic work. Does anyone have anything they'd like to share just while we're here? Feel free to share your screen. It's okay if not. But yeah, we've got 4 minutes left on this call, and I think we should be okay to leave it there. But just in these 4 minutes, I'll just reiterate the next stages. The next stages, the final presentation is next Saturday. I'm going to put out a Google Sheet, and if you would like to present some insights that you've managed to extract from the data, if you'd like to talk about what you've learned, what has been really valuable, and talk about the troubles you've had being a beginner, or and how you've resolved it, and what new skills you've learned. Have you learned how to research more effectively? Have you learned how to build a model more effectively, or whatever it is? Just share it with the group. The final presentation is not only about talking what we've managed to complete in the project, it's also about you guys and what you've learned, and that is what we want to do. And depending on how many people want to present what they've done, you could have 5-10 minutes to talk through your experience on the project, and I think it'll be very valuable for everyone else as well if we come together as a team and talk about those things, because most people on this project were beginners, and it'll be good to sort of look back over the past month or so and reflect on what we've done and what you've learned in that time. Also very important, and I was going to leave it to the end anyway, if you haven't already, add everyone who you've worked with and spoke to on LinkedIn, because after the project, to sort of solidify your chances of having a career in data science and that, recommend people on LinkedIn. If they've taught you something, make a positive recommendation for them on LinkedIn, and they will give you one back. It's just to, you know, build your community on LinkedIn, and, you know, get your name out there. And one of the best ways to do that is to endorse each other's skills, but also leave recommendations as well. And it'll really help. Everyone who has contributed to this project has done fantastically well, and I'll be leaving everyone a recommendation. And I'm, you know, I pretty much have a list of people who have contributed the most, those who've been here since day one, regularly attending the meetings and whatnot, and, you know, spoke up about what they've done. And, you know, I'll be leaving recommendations. That is a good way to do it. We've got a community now. We've all, you know, a lot. The chances are we're going to be working again on projects, because that's what you usually see. You usually see the same faces on particular projects. So part of the process of learning and part of the process of securing a career in data is having a strong network and a strong community. So that's an important step, but we can talk about that next week in more detail. But it is recommended. The stronger your network, the better your chances of learning and landing a career as well. But it's been fantastic working with everyone. We've you know, everyone's made a fantastic contribution and come on leaps and bounds since the start. But yeah, I think that we can pretty much leave it there. Oasis is going to work on the dashboard. And in the meantime, if everyone else, I'll put the Google Sheet out in about 5 minutes. If you want to present in the final presentation, leave your name and just give us a brief description on what you want to present, because we don't want people presenting the same sort of thing. If you could pick maybe 1 or 2 points to talk about, and then use the rest of the time about what you've learned, and a bit of self-reflection as well. I think it's going to be a really good presentation, as I say. But yeah, it's been great working with everyone, and I'm looking forward to the final presentation. We should have a good hour and a half worth of really exciting and interesting content. Okay, we've got 10 seconds left, so I'd like to thank everyone for coming. Have a great weekend, and I will see you next week, and I'll see you in the Slack as well. Thank you very much, everyone.